Good morning, it's Penuel the Black Pen. I'd first and foremost like to thank all of you who watched my interview and sit down with Rutendo Matinyarare. I'd just like to state that the reason it is not on the Penuel show, in particular that channel, is because I work with a partner and partners at the Penuel show, and they run a fully fledged production company. And unfortunately, they've got their own obligations, and that's why we normally have to schedule certain sit downs. And that's why we even film certain sit downs in advance. Unfortunately, over the weekend, they were inundated with work and there wasn't going to be a slot to be able to film at the time. Also, it takes quite a few days to be able to edit and upload some of the content there, especially because of the quality that you guys have seen. And for that, I'd like to thank Usia Mangena from Amped Studios in Newtown, along with Slim at Amped Studios in Newtown as well, because they were able to accommodate me at very short notice over the weekend to be able to sit down with Rutendo. I'd like to thank Rutendo as well for sitting down with me and being willing to unpack the Al Jazeera Gold Mafia documentary. We've noted with Usia some of the complaints around sound, etc. And Usia is committed to be able to try and fix some of those things moving forward when we sit down and do similar recordings at Amp Studios and working with Usia and Uslim as well. I lived with Rutendo in a complex a couple of years ago. Became a friend. We used to debate all the time around Black people, the African issues, some of the political climate issues in SADC in South Africa, along the African or around the African continent. So he's someone I've gotten to know very well, along with another mutual friend of ours, Joshua Maponga, and then another gentleman that I hold in high regard, Gerald Mwandiambira. I know so many Zimbabweans, having gone to Rhodes, having lived in Johannesburg, and because a lot of the migrants, or immigrants rather, legal and illegal in Johannesburg, a lot of them are Zimbabwean people. So I just like to state that up front. And it's the reason why I sit with Rutendo. I think he's got a powerful mind. A lot of people have said similar in the comments. If you look at some of the episodes we have done on the Penuel show, it is pretty clear that the guy is a walking library. Now, this is where it kind of becomes sensitive and controversial and touchy for so many people, specifically Zimbabweans. They feel that Rutendo Matinyarare is a ZANU-PF mouthpiece. A question I asked him in the sit down, which he stated that he is not, and is not paid to speak on behalf of the ZANU-PF. It is now up to your personal opinion to believe him or not. It is not up to me to bash him and to tell him, no, you're a ZANU-PF mouthpiece. That is incorrect. Number one. Number two, he has stated that he has a South African ID. He has even posted a picture on his social media about his South African ID. I do not work for Home Affairs. The Minister of Home Affairs is Aaron Mutsoaledi. And for any Zimbabwean in South Africa or any Mozambican Lesotho national living in South Africa, if you happen to have an ID book or an ID card, please engage and educate other people on how these things work so they can learn. But it is not my job, again, to bash Rutendo and to tell him, no, what you're doing is wrong. I do not work for Home Affairs and I'm not the Minister of Home Affairs. You guys have to remember that when I have a guest on, I can ask probing questions, but it is not for me to be hostile and bash a guest because it alienates the guest. It means they will not come back. And it means that my platform becomes a type of platform where people are not free to state their own version and their own narrative. You are free to not agree with them. You are free to state in the comments you believe they are lying. Definitely. But it is not my place to be hostile to a guest. You would not appreciate it if you came onto my platform coming to say your piece. Whether it is propaganda, whether it is the truth, whether it is an opinion. It would not be nice for you to be constantly bashed by me. That's not the type of person I am. It's not the type of platforms I'm trying to create. What I do suggest, especially for Zimbabweans, in the comments, if you have alternative information from a Rutendo or anyone else, please post links to that information so that people can learn. Please offer some of your opinions on some of the information so we can learn. I have DM'd Hopewell Chinono. I'm hoping at some point I can sit down with him because a lot of Zimbabweans have said, please get Hopewell and sit down with him as an alternative voice as well. But I will carry on sitting with Rutendo. He's a good friend of mine. I do not understand Zimbabwean politics and I'm open to learn. I do not understand Mozambican, Lesotho, Swati, Botswana, Namibian politics or any other place, and I'm willing to learn. And let's learn together, not bash each other. I'm open to learn. I hope you're open to learn as well. But I want to thank everyone who supported the video. Please carry on sharing. Please carry on commenting. Teach me. Allow me to teach you. Give constructive criticism. And let's help grow and learn together. If it so happens that there are things that are uncovered over time and it comes through that Rutendo was lying or was a mouthpiece, it will come through. And I'll be very comfortable to state some of those things as well. I'm not a captured person. I'm not a captured platform. I'm a platform looking to educate, inspire, because ultimately we want Zimbabwe to be fixed. Ultimately, we want Zimbabweans in diaspora to go back home and rebuild their nation and make sure that SADC thrives as a whole. We understand the impact of the sanctions. We understand that some of the people, they are under a lot of duress and they use some of these weird ways to move certain things around. But the Zimbabwean people need to get involved in fixing their nation. Penuel the Black Pen. Thank you.